just to let you know that we are live as we speak. So what you say is recorded on the tube, which is where we're at right now.
Got it.
Welcome, YouTube. If you're watching this live today, welcome. Have a great day. If you're watching this as a replay later on down the road, I appreciate it. Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio. Please share my link and tell your friends to like it as well. Appreciate that. Kurt Shirado's on the phone with me here to start things out here. Before we get onto the radio side of things, Mike Wagner, good morning. Kurt, one of those things about radio is everybody fills in for everybody, especially on days like weather. So Mike, it shows Facebook said that he's working until 6 p.m. tonight. He started at 5 this morning, going to be until 6 o'clock tonight. And same thing down in Mobridge. There's Karen's stuck at her place, I think, over by Selby. And I think John's filling in, I think is his name. John, let me know if you guys are on in Mobridge and KGFX and Pier. But I don't miss those days, Kurt. I was the only, I live close to the station. So, of course, that's the person that gets the call,
That's nice.
You got to work a full day.
Yes.
Of course, those days, I look back at it, and working at a radio station is a heck of a lot easier than trying to put a full day in trying to get your cows fed. So,
yeah. Plus, you're battling Mother Nature a little bit with all that every day lately, it seems.
Yeah. What do you do? So, looks like you ate a little bit of fish the other night. That's not supporting the beef market very well. You know that.
Well, I gotta go part with the water by the fish market and some with the meat market. I go both directions quite often. Just depends, how I feel and what's on top in the freezer.
Yeah. I tried to chase some antelope yesterday a little bit. My mother-in-law still has her tag to fill, and I still have mine. And I usually don't ever go out the first opening weekend,
right?
Because it's just kind of just got other things I had to get done. I had to finish hauling hay and got that done. I was trying to get everything done before the big storm, So, but
I think everybody's trying to plan, but I'm not sure how many people were actually. Well, nobody knew what was going to happen, so
no.
Kind of a flip of a coin here.
Got about 4 inches in Mobridge. It says. What'd you get in Bismarck?
Boy, I was actually talking to Jason yesterday, and I seen what was in my driveway. I'm not sure I've actually heard the amounts, but I'm going to say he told me like 12, 15 inches, and it's coming down. They got drifts on the north end of Bismarck.
Really?
I had drifts in front of, we got, it's wet, white, blustery, and it's coming down again today.
Is it? Yeah, I see the radar shows you're supposed to get more, but not here, which is fine.
Yeah, no, it's just hanging on us. I think it's doing a loop, and it passed us, and now it's looping back around for round 2. I'm looking out my window right now, and very blustery, blowing snow right now.
Morning, Jim. KGFX is on with us. Good to have you. Hey, Jim, let me know how much snow you guys got down in that pier area, if you got any. Let me know, buddy. Appreciate it. Yeah, I see Devil's Lake got like, 30 inches or something like that, 37 inches, or 27, or I don't know. It's like crazy up there.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen any marks of anything, to be totally honest with you. I just know the further east and northeast of Bismarck, it was supposed to get worse and worse. So I'm not doubting any of that, because it's pretty thick here.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess it's why we live in the upper Midwest. I visited Denver. I didn't visit. I had some meetings down there, but I tell you what, man, I'd rather put up with this snow and try to scratch together more feed for my cows for an early winter than live in a city any day of my life.
Yeah, I've always told my wife, I said, I'm never going to go east of Bismarck as far as hanging my hat anywhere. It's going to be here or west, someplace smaller or I can't handle it. I can get there for a day or so, and after a day or so, I'm pretty thankful I live where I live.
Looks like Pierre got about 3 inches of snow, and Andy Mrnak from Pfeiffer's there saying very little snow between Webo and Baker. I don't know. They're on the road back here or what they were doing, but they were in Billings for something or another.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, man, it's definitely winter looking up here.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is out here a little bit too. It's pretty white.
Yeah, it is. It is white. I got up at about 6:30 yesterday and ran the snow blower across my driveway, and I had a solid foot all the way across it. And I'm looking outside right now. There's 3-foot drifts across the neighbor's lawn, or I mean, just 10 feet across, and everything. So it's pretty blustery.
Let's just hope it doesn't stay all winter. You know what I mean? Hopefully November we get some warmer days, or next week it's supposed to be the 40s, 50s here in this area, I guess.
Well, I hope it does too. I mean, I don't mind winter. We're just a little early right now.
I agree.
I remember a few years back when it came early and it stayed, and that made for a long winter. I like snow. I like the cold. I like a little blast of Mother Nature, Arctic Mother Nature. But boy, if we're going to start in mid-October and carry into February of next year, March even, that's going to make for some long cold spells.
Yeah, it will. Yeah, that's a fact. Trying to put together all my coyote tournaments, duck hunting tournaments, and all this information I got here today.
Right?
I got a lot of coyote tournaments coming up.
Gosh, I'm almost thinking it looks like it should be ice fishing tournaments.
That was funny. Yesterday, we were driving around. There's still trees that, full leaves that are turning color. Some are still green. Water's open and there's snow everywhere.
Oh, gosh.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Kind of contradicting elements out there. And
yeah.
My tree that usually has leaves on it lost them early because I had some bad bugs for a little while out on the trees. And that thing lost its leaves, thank goodness. But my nice little young maple in the back, I'm waiting for the beautiful red colors to show up, but I think they're going to get cut short.
Yeah.
Those red leaves that didn't get there are now white, it looks like.
Yeah, there's a lot of weight on some of those trees, I bet, too. They didn't lose their leaves already,
Nope, and then we got all that rain prior to everything. We were misting more of a heavy mist all prior to the snow. It never really did rain, but it laid down a lot of wet, heavy mist prior to the snow dumping. So, yeah, I haven't seen any damaged trees out there yet, but I'm sure they're there. The wind maybe helped a little bit. I don't know. Maybe it kept some of it blown off it. I don't know. But they're looking like they're surviving.
Yeah. Well, they've been here longer than we have. I guess they're a little stronger than we are.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Let's see. So once again, we have a break at 15, and then we'll be done at 30. So if I cut you off or anything, it's just because I got to hit these hard times.
No, don't worry about it.
We have about 35 seconds till we start up here, and get rocking and rolling, do the intro and all that good stuff. So.
Yes, sir.
Once again, welcome all my YouTube live listeners here this morning. All right, 15 seconds. It'll go quiet here, Kurt, and we'll get her started. Stand by.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Saturday edition of Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio. Good to have you along here this morning. All across the Dakota Territory, 6 states and 2 Canadian provinces. Good to have them as well as we continue through the Missouri River Basin on KFYR in Bismarck, KOLY, Mobridge, South Dakota, also in South Dakota, KGFX in the capital city of Pierre. Good to have you folks along. Looking like roughly 4 some inches is what was reported in Mobridge, around 3 inches down in the Pierre area. 3 to 4 inches here at the ranch in the Badlands, Southern Badlands of North Dakota is where I'm at. Out at the ranch in Bismarck, I don't know, looks like 27 feet. Kurt Shirado, is that about right? 27 feet? Is that right?
That's close.
I don't know. What would you guess? I don't
Right.
know what they guess. 12 inches, 10 to
Well,
15.
that's what I heard.
Okay.
I heard 12, 15 inches. And just with the way it's blowing, it's just stacking up, sometimes 3 feet high, and sometimes it blows open. But no, there's plenty of snow up in Bismarck.
It's hard to tell when the wind's blowing and drifting it all around, but Kurt Shirado from Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV is going to be my guest for the first half of the radio program here this morning. Good to have you along. My name is Scott Bachmeyer. I'm broadcasting out of the ranch house here in a little piece of heaven I call the Southern Badlands of North Dakota. I can say I'm in the corner. North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana. It's all really close to me here. So a few things going on before we get talking to Kurt about some hunting and fishing is the Hideaway Neighborhood Bar and Grill. Now, I don't know, a lot of these have been sent to me. I'm not sure if they're going to be postponed because of the weather. But anyway, today is the first annual pheasant hunting contest at the Neighborhood Bar and Grill. So good luck to those guys. Also, last week we talked about the 2019 Gray Goose Youth Invitational Coyote Calling Contest. That's going on today out of the Pierre, South Dakota area. Kind of cool, Kurt. This is they're putting 25 of the area's top coyote callers, and they're going to be serving as mentors, and they're going to take a youth with them. The youth is the only one that gets to shoot at coyotes, but the mentors have to do all the calling.
Nice.
I thought that's a really cool idea for a coyote contest, is to get these kids involved like that. And not only that, but can you imagine checking in tonight if this is still going on? Coyote calling contests. It's one thing about those when we do coyote calling contest, the worse the weather, the better the coyote calling is. It sometimes works. So I'm pretty sure they're going to continue on with this, but I always think about when these guys check in, if I was a mentor and my buddy John Palczewski was a mentor, and we each had a different child with us all day long, and we came in and I got my kids skunked, I wouldn't hear the end of it from the rest of the guys. I guarantee it. So I think I would like to be there at check-in just to see how these guys rib each other just a little bit. But anyway, they're going to be checking in later tonight at the Grey Goose store. So a great one there. Another one that I'm not sure it's going to be going on or not, because the 15th annual Douglas Duck Days up in Douglas, North Dakota. This is the Douglas Sportsman Club today and tomorrow, 2 to 4 person teams. I'm going after some waterfall up that way, so I'm not sure if they're going to be doing that yet or not. But I think those guys, you've been waterfall hunting, they're just as crazy as the coyote calling guys. They'll sit out there all day too in cold temperatures. And we have coyote contests coming up at the end of the month up in Williston, North Dakota. That's the big money one. The Luke Oil Memorial. I mean, there's 12 to 15 grand of prizes and guns and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it's a big one up that way. There's plenty of other ones. We'll come up and talk a little bit about more of the coyote calling contest as well. Kurt Shirado is my guest here. Good to have him along this morning. You're on all 3 stations and YouTube Live. Guess what I got for my microphone today? I finally got. I moved up in the world. All right. They call these things mic flags, where it has your name and your phone number of your company on them, and it puts on your microphone. So everybody on YouTube can see that the toll-free number is 888-932-5682 if you want to call in and talk to us about the great outdoors, whether it's any kind of hunting or fishing. Kurt does it all here, and he has a television program, and you can find that on all social media forums and YouTube forums and Vimeo forum. You can find it everywhere. Amazon Prime. You guys are on Amazon as well, aren't you? Whole works on that too. So see, John Palczewski's listening. He says that's pretty much true, that we'd give each other a hard time if that were to happen that way. So
well, when that battle comes up, make sure you call and I will be there.
Britt Circoni at Action Motorsports, who have yet to call me back. Britt, thanks a lot for having your guys call me back. He says, will you be my mentor for coyote hunting?
There you go.
I don't know about that. I'll be his mentor, but I don't know. My luck, I wouldn't be on top of where we need to be on top of all the time. But there's a lot of coyotes out there. Kurt, you got yourself your antelope opening weekend last weekend. Oh, before I forget, today in both North and South Dakota, opening pheasant season. I'm not sure how many people are going to be out there chasing them.
Yeah.
The nice thing about pheasant, here's the thing. You want to find them, go to like an abandoned farmstead that has like a couple abandoned buildings and a tree row. I'm pretty sure they're going to be there today. And with all the standing crops, they're probably in the corn and soybeans and sunflowers and all that too. But
Well, I think up here they're probably hiding someplace.
Yeah, I don't know, it's going to be interesting. I know the population, depending on the areas across North and South Dakota, saw anywhere from a 7% increase to a 10% decrease in population, according to their respective game and fish reports. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out this year. But last weekend,
it will be
opening pronghorn antelope season for you, and it only took you half a day. That's what I'm talking about. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Well, I've always said I'll take the good with the bad. Not very often do I, or we for that matter, get kind of the lucky straw and have things happen our way right away. Usually it's push it to the last day, the end of the season or something, you know.
That's my way.
But
that's my way.
Yeah. you got to take those easy ones, because there's plenty of tough ones that make up for it. That's for sure.
So take us through the hunt here a little bit. I know it's going to be on your show coming up probably next season or so,
yep.
But take us through a little bit of it. I mean, were you down at that big ranch that we were talking about before the season started? You gave me a call and we were discussing.
Yeah.
That? Okay.
Yeah, we were tucked way back in the very southwest corner of the state. You know, it was kind of nice because, well, boy, I'm not going to say the year because I don't really remember exactly, but it was maybe 2006, 7-ish or something. The last time I had a tag down there, and it was fun again. Reuniting with a couple old family friends and ranchers down in that area. We stopped and visited, and our early morning conversations they went on and on and on. And that morning it was pretty chilly out, so we weren't really dressed for it, but it was nice. We met some new people down there, ranchers and stuff. Things were good to see old friends, and at that point, weather was cooperating, not so much as is today, but I think the biggest thing for us was John and I had gone prior, probably 2-3 weeks before the season, and scouted for a whole weekend. And I think that was the key to helping us out. And obviously we had a little luck on our hands. I mean, I wasn't expecting to bump into antelope. I mean, numbers, yes, but you know, anything, I was going to try and hang in there for a better goat. Last year there was a lot of there were some new areas that opened up in North Dakota that produced some good animals last year.
Say, Kurt, I'm going to stop you right there because we're up against the break here. So we'll continue. Yeah, we'll continue this more. Kurt Shirado's antelope hunt here, and not only that, but I want to ask him, you know, what it's like to talk to those. He's talked to a lot of farmers and ranchers getting that private land access. That's what we're going to talk about coming up. Dakota Prairie Outdoors continues right after these messages.
Dakota Community Wealth Management's trust advisors use your wealth to support your family and those you care about. Whether you are just beginning to accumulate wealth or already have significant assets, our wealth management and trust professionals offer a complete array of customizable services to fit your needs. Visit dakotacommunitybank.com or ask for Dakota Community Wealth Management Department to ensure your legacy.
The North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame proudly presents East Greets West, the benefit dinner and auction, Friday, November 1st at the Avalon Event Center in Fargo. This annual event's become a benchmark and is always well attended. There'll be a social, a delicious dinner, and auction, and our featured guest speaker is North Dakota Lieutenant Governor Brent Sanford. And enjoy great music performed by special guest Jesse Veeder. For tickets, go to NorthDakotaCowboy.com or call 701-623-2000. East Greets West, November 1st at the Avalon Event Center in Fargo. Produced and presented by the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame.
Mandan Sporting Goods, 210 East Main. Again, sitting with Joe talking about deer hunting coming around the corner. When it comes to the deer list, you don't think about your wife's deer list. It's deer hunting, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. She doesn't make very good venison.
Let's talk about the rifles for deer season here. You got plenty of them to choose from, but name like some of the top 3 that people are coming in and they're just flying off the shelf.
Well, I would say the Marlins, the Ruger Americans, of course, the Remingtons, of course. Savage is a super gun out of the box. They're as good as any of them as far as accuracy right out of the box.
What are some of the special things that coming around deer season, like optics, ammunition people are looking at? I know rangefinders are kind of big, and you guys carry a full line of optics as well.
Rangefinders is quite a thing. I mean, you got your cheaper ones. ones, you get your higher ones. If you're going to buy one, you may as well buy a good one that'll get out there.
Mandan Sporting Goods, it's 210 East Main. Stop by. We want amazing innovations to drive progress for generations. We want jobs and careers for generations. We want American energy production that protects our land and the wildlife for generations. Today, the advanced technologies deployed by the North Dakota oil and gas producers are making that happen. And with the promise of emerging technologies, the energy of North Dakota has a very bright future for generations to come. This message is brought to you by the North Dakota Petroleum Council. To learn more, visit energyofnorthdakota.com. Pifer's Western team of Andy Mrnak and Jim Sabby would like to invite you to sit down and talk about the future of land planning. Whether you're looking at selling, buying, or options to hand it down to the next generation, Andy and Jim will lay out all of the options for you. It's a great time to buy or sell, and with interest rates to make it profitable. Pifer's Western team, Andy Mrnak and Jim Sabby. For more information or land updates, go to pifers.com. Western Frontier Insurance. Agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, and Wilton.
As a leader in farm and ranch insurance in North Dakota, Dakota Community Insurance understands the importance of protecting all aspects of your operation, no matter how large or small. Your Dakota Community Insurance agent can customize an insurance package to cover your farm equipment, livestock, farm buildings, and crops. For more information, call your local Dakota Community Bank and Trust or visit dakotacommunitybank.com.
Hi, everybody. This is Scott Bachmeyer. And besides being the host of Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio and also a rancher in the Badlands, I'm also an auctioneer. So if you're looking to auction off property, maybe you have farm equipment, a production sale coming up, even a benefit or a fundraiser, I'm the guy that can help you out. Maybe you're listening and you have your own auction company and you find yourself short of help sometimes. I can step up as an auctioneer or even help as a ringman. Give me a call, send me a message, 701-425-6651. That's 701-425-6651. Mandan Sporting Goods, 210 East Main, again with Joe. Joe, it's getting closer and closer. Pheasant season around the corner, and you have what the bill fits.
Well, we pretty much got anything you want. All the varieties of shotguns, youth or full size, the automatics, the pumps, over-under, side-by-sides, single shots we can get in if you want them. Pretty much everything.
And when it comes to ammunition, what's hot right now for shooting those pheasants out there?
Everybody's got their own favorite load. Fiochi is pretty good. The Federals.
Somebody told me to ask you what hen pheasant tastes like.
I don't know. I haven't hit any yet this year.
Pifer's Western team of Andy Mrnak and Jim Sabby would like to invite you to sit down and talk about the future of land planning. Whether you're looking at selling, buying, or options to hand it down to the next generation, Andy and Jim will lay out all of the options for you. It's a great time to buy or sell, and with interest rates to make it profitable. Pifer's Western team, Andy Mrnak and Jim Sabby. For more information or land updates, go to pifers.com. Welcome back, everybody. Good to have you along. Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition continues. KFYR Bismarck, KOLY, Mobird, South Dakota, and also Pierce, South Dakota, and KGFX, the longest running stations in their respective areas. Kurt Shirado from Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV is my guest here on the phone line with me. Kurt, welcome back. Now, I cut you off talking about your antelope hunt, and you said, you were going around meeting some of these new people, new ranchers. Did you meet did you meet Russ? That I gave you the name? Did you ever run across him?
I didn't.
Okay.
I did not. I struggled making contact there, but it was prety interesting. This was actually towards at the end of our hunt. John and I were actually out doing some what we call B-roll footage, some landscape and this and that, that kind of thing, and. We talked to a warden down in that area, and then we were done there, and a rancher had stopped by and started talking to us. We were pulled over the side of the road, and great guy. He had obviously ran into some mishaps. It was opening day.
Yeah.
And he was explaining some of the mishaps that they ran into, and, a lot of guys do cringe that opening day of pheasant season, deer season, maybe antelope season, because either the doors are getting knocked on or which he was experiencing, a lot of people not respecting that decision and just kind of doing what they want. And the bottom line with him was, you just come to the door and ask, and that's the truth. You just there's too many people that assume things nowadays, and whether land's posted or not posted, I mean, it's always good. I mean, you might get a no. We all do. Everybody has. Everybody will. But this guy would have let anybody go as long as they would have came and asked him, and turned into a great conversation. Great guy. I'm hoping someday I can knock on his door, and if I draw another tag in the next 10 years or so, I'll be back. And if I get there sooner, I'll definitely stop and visit. But that's all he was asking for.
Yeah.
And
little respect once in a while, because they're dealing with the same thing. They're dealing with a lot of BLM land in that area, where we're dealing with Forest Service land up in my area.
Yeah.
And the same thing. There's a lot of people that you look on different apps on your phone and it shows a trail, or you look at these maps that are outdated and it shows a trail, and sometimes the trail ain't always there, and sometimes it's crossing private property, and sometimes, like us, it goes right through my yard, where
for sure
it's not a trail, it's a yard.
You're right.
So, but
I think the biggest key for that kind of thing, anybody wanting to do any type of hunting, whether you're going west or east or something, just get out prior to seasons and snoop around and ask questions and talk to people, and not the days of. I couldn't imagine living out there, being that rancher, and just I'm sure opening weekends are just cringing. Some of those guys, there's just so much traffic, so much going on. But
I think the biggest problem that we come across is it's this is shipping time, which a lot of us are trying to wean calves, getting our hay hauled. We're trying. It's kind of a busy time right now again. So if it's on the ranching side, the farming side, we know how busy they've been and trying to get everything done this year. So it's not like we're always in the yard or in the house for them to knock on. I can see that being frustrating on both sides.
Absolutely. And you don't get, you might not never make contact with that individual, whether it's phone calls, whether it's landline, cell phones, knocking at the door. I mean, the ranchers, the farmers, they're as busy as you and I. Their span runs from daybreak to sunrise every day. So you might have to call twice or 3 times or 4 times, or knock at the door multiple times. But just try and make that initial contact prior to seasons, and try and get some areas lined up so that when you do get there, check back in with them and see how things are going, and then carry on.
A little bit goes a long ways, doesn't it? So So did you spot and stalk your antelope, or did you end up using a blind, or what did you guys do?
No, we excuse me, I'm getting over a little cold here too, but no, we actually got to vantage point, did a lot of glassing, like always, that time of year for antelope. I mean, I love antelope hunting, whether I'm in North Dakota, Montana, Wyoming, South Dakota, or what. Just they're visual animals. They're out. A lot of glassing involved, whether binos, spotting scope, whatever. So we kind of got to the areas, got to the hills, and started glassing. Looking on the way in, obviously, we saw some critters on the side of the road, and people pulled over, waiting patiently. I'm not sure if they had rights to hunt this land or not, but we got into our area and walked up to the nearest vantage point, started glassing, and we weren't there 5 minutes, and John spotted a good critter, probably 3/4 of a mile. Spotting scope out, looked good. Figured we were going to try and get closer, a little bit closer, to get a better look, and started working our way. And lo and behold, I think he decided to meet us halfway. So we didn't even have to get. Well, he brought a herd of does our way, and they kind of snuck out the back way, across the fence. And I said, that buck with him sure don't look right. And he looked too small, and it was. And here, that critter left his herd, turned around, and came walking right back to us again. I didn't have to crawl very hard, very long, laid up on top of a ridge, and he came back to another pretty decent buck, and they kind of stood there feeding about 250 yards from him. So,
well, that's nice. Nice shot. Yeah, nice range.
Yeah, it all worked pretty. I don't know. It just don't ever work that easy. So
the antelope gods were shining down upon you.
Yeah, I just excuse me.
You bet. What rifle? What caliber rifle were you flunking while playing with here?
I actually had a new one from HS Precision, not new caliber, but a new model gun for me. A 7mm Rem Mag. I've had that caliber for a while. I like it for big game animals, flatlands in the Dakotas, that kind of thing. I'm used to it. Very great shooting gun. Everything was working good, and the gun caliber, the shooting, everything just fell into place. It was just one of those lucky days where things got in there. We got some nice photos taken, and kind of hung around and took care of the critter, got it deboned and in a cooler right away, and just kind of relaxed a little bit through the late evening. Like I said, just don't happen very often.
The key to, and I love antelope meat. Don't get me wrong. I think it's some of the best but you have to take care of it right away and cool it down. We only have a couple minutes here before I got to let you go, Kurt, but when can we see that show? When do you guys usually start editing the footage together and put it on, let's say YouTube or wherever?
It's being edited right now. I mean, we are working on stuff as we go. Sometimes we can sneak those in, and our lineup for this year, which is starting this weekend. I mean, things are starting to rock and roll with us a little bit right now, and sometimes we find a gap, and if it was a short hunt, so the footage is going to be short, so it might even find its way out there this season yet. We might sneak it in someplace, but if not, unfortunately, it'll probably start out bright and early next year. But we're not 100% where we're going to lay it in. But no, the footage gets worked on sometimes right away. It's fresh in your brain, and we do all that kind of. You said you're your own producer or whatever.
Yeah.
All kind of same here. So everything works out there while it's fresh to us. We work on it soon.
Text message comes in 30 seconds. What cameras are you guys using for filming in cold weather?
Well, I tell you what, we had some. I'm not even going to tell you what that model is right now, because yesterday we just got a brand new one. And I didn't even. We go ahead.
What brand are you looking here?
Well, that one I'm not even going to tell you, because I didn't even look at it. John brought it in. We were doing a quick commercial, and nowadays with the cameras, the 4K cameras and stuff, they're doing amazing footage right now. We picked up a little smaller version, I can tell you that, because in my old age, carrying the camera and tripod around when you're out in the Badlands for a day at a time, gets a little heavy and whatnot.
Well, Kurt, we're up against the block, man. I appreciate you coming on to the show again here. Thanks for taking time on a Saturday. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
All right. Have a good one. Thanks.
You bet. Sorry about the short time. We could do a whole hour. We'll be back more after these messages.
Dakota Community Wealth Management's trust advisors use your wealth to support your family and those you care about. Whether you are just beginning to accumulate wealth or already have significant assets, our wealth management and trust professionals offer a complete array of customizable services to fit your needs. Visit dakotacommunitybank.com or ask for Dakota Community Wealth Management Department to ensure your legacy.
The North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame proudly presents East Greets West, the benefit dinner and auction, Friday, November 1st at the Avalon Event Center in Fargo. This annual event's become a benchmark and is always well attended. There'll be a social, a delicious dinner, and auction, and our featured guest speaker is North Dakota Lieutenant Governor Brent Sanford. And enjoy great music performed by special guest Jesse Veeder. For tickets, go to NorthDakotaCowboy.com or call 701-623-2000. East Greets West, November 1st at the Avalon Event Center in Fargo. Produced and presented by the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame.
Mandan Sporting Goods, 210 East Main. Again, sitting with Joe, talking about deer hunting coming around the corner. When it comes to the deer list, you don't think about your wife's deer list. It's deer hunting, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. She doesn't make very good venison.
Let's talk about the rifles for deer season here. You got plenty of them to choose from, but name like some of the top 3 that people are coming in and they're just flying off the shelf.
Well, I would say the Marlins, Ruger Americans, of course, the Remingtons, of course. Savage is a super gun out of the box. They're as good as any of them as far as accuracy right out of the box.
What are some of the special things that coming around deer season, like optics, ammunition, people are looking at? I know rangefinders are kind of big, and you guys carry a full line of optics as well.
Rangefinders is quite a thing. I mean, you got your cheaper ones, you get your higher ones. If you're going to buy one, you may as well buy a good one that'll get out there.
Mandan Sporting Goods, it's 210 East Main. Stop by.
We want amazing innovations to drive progress for generations. We want jobs and careers for generations. We want American energy production that protects our land and the wildlife for generations. Today, the advanced technologies deployed by the North Dakota oil and gas producers are making that happen. And with the promise of emerging technologies, the energy of North Dakota has a very bright future for generations to come. This message is brought to you by the North Dakota Petroleum Council. To learn more, visit energyofnorthdakota.com. Pifer's Western team of Andy Mrnak and Jim Sabby would like to invite you to sit down and talk about the future of land planning. Whether you're looking at selling, buying, or options to hand it down to the next generation, Andy and Jim will lay out all of the options for you. It's a great time to buy or sell, and with interest rates to make it profitable. Pifer's Western team, Andy Mrnak and Jim Sabby. For more information or land updates, go to pifers.com.
Western Frontier Insurance. Agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered. Western Frontier Insurance. Office in Hazen, Washburn, and Wilton.
As a leader in farm and ranch insurance in North Dakota, Dakota Community Insurance understands the importance of protecting all aspects of your operation, no matter how large or small. Your Dakota Community Insurance agent can customize an insurance package to cover your farm equipment, livestock, farm buildings, and crops. For more information, call your local Dakota Community Bank and Trust or visit dakotacommunitybank.com.
Hi, everybody. This is Scott Bachmeyer. And besides being the host of Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio and also a rancher in the Badlands, I'm also an auctioneer. So if you're looking to auction off property, maybe you have farm equipment, a production sale coming up, even a benefit or a fundraiser, I'm the guy that can help you out. Maybe you're listening and you have your own auction company and you find yourself short of help sometimes. I can step up as an auctioneer or even help as a ringman. Give me a call, send me a message, 701-425-6651. That's 701-425-6651. Mandan Sporting Goods, 210 East Main, again with Joe. Joe, it's getting closer and closer. Pheasant season around the corner, and you have what the bill fits.
Well, we pretty much got anything you want. All the varieties of shotguns, youth or full size, the automatics, the pumps, over-under, side-by-sides, single shots we can get in if you want them. Pretty much everything.
And when it comes to ammunition, what's hot right now for shooting those pheasants out there?
Everybody's got their own favorite load. Fiochi is pretty good. The Federals.
Somebody told me to ask you what hen pheasant tastes like.
I don't know. I haven't hit any yet this year.
Pifer's Western team of Andy Mrnak and Jim Sabby would like to invite you to sit down and talk about the future of land planning. Whether you're looking at selling, buying, or options to hand it down to the next generation, Andy and Jim will lay out all of the options for you. It's a great time to buy or sell, and with interest rates to make it profitable. Pifer's Western team, Andy Mrnak and Jim Sabby. For more information or land updates, go to pifers.com.
Welcome back, everybody. Dakota Prairie Outdoors continues on KFYR in Bismarck, KOLY, Mobridge, KGFX, Pierre, South Dakota, and everywhere on YouTube. Your worldwide YouTube Live. Go to my channel, Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio. Subscribe to it, and you can watch any of the past shows at your convenience here. My next guest coming up here, Andy Mrnak from Pifer's Western team. But first, the rest of the coyote hunts here that we can get on coming up here. October 26th, Williston, North Dakota. We talked about that, a big money one, Luke Oil Memorial one. For more information, you can go to coyotehunter.net on that one. Let's see here, Bad River Sportsman's Club coyote calling contest and fundraiser coming up in Phillips, South Dakota. I believe that's November 1st and 2nd is what mine showed here. We have the Mandan Winter Classic coming up on Mandan December 6th and 7th. Again, that's at coyotehunter.net. And back down to Pierre. I hope I say this right. Randy Rohde, I believe. It's a 3rd annual Memorial Statewide Coyote Calling Contest. Jim, if you're listening down there, make sure I'm pronouncing that correctly. I hate when it isn't, but that's on December 14th, and statewide hunt here. And I tell you what, it's going to be a great one. Rules meeting, registration and rule meeting Friday, December 13th at the Grey Goose store in Pierre, South Dakota. Again, one member of each team has to do that. That's December 14th. And then in Bowman, North Dakota, the 18th annual North Dakota Coyote Classic, which used to be held out of Dickinson all the time, but it's harder and harder to find places to do that. So it's actually, I'm going to bring Andy Mrnak on with me right now because, Andy, I'm pretty sure they're going to have it at the Pfeiffer's Auction and Realty building is where they're going to be hosting this, I do believe.
Yeah, that's correct. This will be the third year for it, back in Bowman again now. So
two-day tournament. Are we going to get buzzed by the Game and Fish this year on our hunt again or not?
Well, I hope so. There's nothing better than setting up a good calling spot for coyote and having an airplane about 15 feet above your head. So
it was close enough. We got the tail number. I'll tell you that. Yeah,
that's right. I think the tournament in Bowman is the final tournament for the CoyoteHunter.net triage. They've got their state championship they're virtually holding in Bowman now.
Yeah,
and it's kind of a point show between Williston, Mandan, and Bowman, correct?
It is, yeah, between those 3 Coyote Hunter tournament dates. And, there's good prizes here, and the payouts are crazy, which is good. I mean, that's what people like to see when you go to do tournaments like this. So, that's January 10th and 11th. And you don't have to do the other 2 tournaments to do this tournament. But if you want to get in on the point series, I mean, that's where you want to do all 3 of the tournaments. But, yeah, Pfeiffer's Auction Realty here coming up January 10th and 11th, 2020. Going to be interesting to see what the weather's like for the rest of the winter here. I know you were saying we have an auction coming up next Tuesday in Hague, North Dakota, and southeast of Bismarck. If anybody wants to call in and tell us what you got for snow down in that area, feel free. 888-932-5682 is the number, 888-9-Dakota, and would be appreciated. But Andy, West Dakota Land Auction, you guys wrapped that up here this last week. I saw pictures. Jim keeps me abreast on what's happening because he loves taking photos outside the airplane window. You know that?
That's right.
He just loves it. You guys are flying all over the place. How did it go?
Yeah. And he kind of started off the week with a bang. So we started on Tuesday in Dickinson and had a unbelievable auction north of Killdeer, North Dakota. Okay. And right up into the Badlands, and really, set some new records up in that country. Then that evening they jumped out of Dickinson and jumped in the airplane, which is the pictures that you saw. And they went to Wilson, sold some property up there. And then that was on Tuesday. So Wednesday morning we came back and sold 3 different auctions around Beulah, North Dakota. Beulah and Hazen had some land by Zap and some really good cropland around that Zapped Beulah to Hazen country. And then we went back to Dickinson on Wednesday night for 2 more land auctions with 1,000 acres south of Dickinson and a quarter just north and east of Dickinson. I tell you, we saw some really good values, anywhere from pastureland and kind of ranged anywhere from that 800 to up into the Badlands at $2,600 an acre.
Really?
We saw some cropland anywhere from that $1,100 to $1,200 all the way up into that $1,900 to $2,000 range. So really, just on the western side of the state, had some really strong values for the really kind and quality land that was being sold in different areas. Good land still has great demand, and that's really the take home message here for the week. Yeah. So,
and I was just going to ask, with the uncertainty of the markets and how it's been here for the farmers and ranchers, it's not looking great by any means, for me selling my calves, but the confidence of buying land is still there. It seems like, it's one thing, they don't make any more of it. And it seems the confidence of being able to get in and buy that is still strong, no matter where you go.
That's right. And this is probably the week that we had a chance to visit with, as many producers around the region as possible. And we had 16 land auctions in 4 days, and that's pretty much, or in 5 days. And that's kind of how the week wrapped up. And it was a pretty standard message across the region, which is great to hear. And obviously there's a lot of producers that still have some crops on the field, and there's a lot of producers that are really skeptical about how the markets and the economy is gonna try to flip around on us here, hopefully in the next a few 3 or 4 months. I know there's some news came out yesterday for China trade. So we saw a little boost towards the end of the day following a negative report on Thursday for corn and commodities. So the flip around message was lots of moisture in the ground. We're prepared for next year.
Yeah.
And, we're virtually guaranteed to have a crop come out of the ground because of the moisture that we have in the ground. Western North Dakota doesn't see saturation like this on maybe once every 3 decades type situation. So I do believe that we are all optimistic by nature. Otherwise we're in the wrong business. And as we're going to try to continue to farm here for the next few decades, just kind of got to be braced up and prepared. The nice thing about the land auctions is, I had one gentleman tell me when he purchased a property around Bowman here that you don't buy land when it's convenient for you. You buy it when it's available. So it does, the property the property that you want may not come up at the most convenient time for you as a buyer, but there's always ways to set it up and set yourself up for success. So
text message comes in and says, you didn't hear anything about South Dakota land sales. Now, is Piper's license in South Dakota where you could potentially have a West Dakota, South Dakota, West Dakota land sale and go through that Harding County down through Lawrence County area and probably east over there? I mean, is that a potential that if people are interested, could they call you?
Absolutely. We actually did have a South Dakota property on this. Yeah. And I'll touch on that one because that's a really neat one for your listeners. It's kind of a hunting lodge type hunting, 80-acre parcel was all it was, but it was an unbelievable auction sale. So we started the prior to naming the Western Dakota auction, it was going to be the Western North Dakota hunting auction, hunting land auction is kind of how it was all set up and designed to be. And then we started that first year, we even started getting a lot of properties into South Dakota, Ludlow. Last year we had some properties down by Ludlow and in that area too. So Ludlow, Buffalo, all the way over to, into Perkins and Corson County as well. So this year we only had one in Perkins County. It was 80 acres, about 12 miles southwest of Hettinger. And really, really nice little property, very well-maintained farmstead, 2 really nice little outbuildings in a house that 1976 double-wide modular home that was brought in, but it was really nice. Needed probably new carpet was probably the only update that was been required. The 80 acres was cropland, so you could set up some food plots in there, and it was really good. We actually got a lot of interest out of the eastern South Dakota, area for guys that were wanting kind of a weekend retreat over here in the Hettinger to Bison area. So that little property, sold like wildfire. It was really fun.
And it worked out good because today's the opening day of pheasant season. So, I mean, if they bought it, I guarantee they're over there hunting it right now.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. That's right.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, besides the land auctions, I know you have not only some great equipment sales that you just had, but you have some equipment sales coming up. And I've been going through these. When I go to bed at night, this is what I research on you guys' website. I look at this equipment, and this equipment that's coming up on all 4 of these sales, probably 5 that we're talking here, it's just better and better every time. It seems like people are really taking the time nowadays to take extra care of their equipment because they know used equipment sells well if it's taken care of. And I mean, it showed at the Dykert place that we had over in Flasher.
Absolutely. And that Dykert sale was exceptional. And you would typically say that, you don't run into guys that wax and polish their trucks and their spray coop and stuff before they put it away every year. I mean, the equipment there was so well taken care of, and it really showed in the results of the auction.
Yeah.
And I would typically we'll see 1 or 2 of those sales every year where somebody just kind of goes above and beyond. Well, this year we're going to have 2 in a month. Yeah. So we had the Dykert sale that we just finalized, and then we have the Gress estate auction up by Grassy Butte, Fairfield country here coming up on, I believe it's the 18th of November.
Yes, sir.
And that is going to be kind of a similar situation. We've got 4 or 5 case tractors there. We got 930s and 430s and 1070. I think there's a 2090. All of these tractors, some of them have 15 or 2,000 hours on them. They're all original. They're all in mint condition. There's a few of these tractors only have 100 or 200 hours on it. You got to check it out. There's a couple pickups with 5 and 10,000, 23,000 miles up on them.
Yeah.
A couple of trailers that really don't have a scratch on them. I mean, if you're looking for a 20-foot stock trailer that looks like brand new, it's incredible. That's a Diamond D steel trailer, but his swather has 23 hours on it. He's got a New Holland HW325 swather with a 16-foot head on it. It's got 23 hours on it. The baler, the Vermeer baler, it's a 555 XL. 7 bales is shown on the monitor. We believe there's probably a few more bales through it, but it looks like it might have actually kicked out 10 or 12.
Yeah.
Not 10 or 12,000.
Yeah, like
10 or 12.
10 or 12 bales.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, we've got a lot of next to new equipment here, a lot of ATVs. Most of it's smaller equipment, but I tell you what, it's just something for everybody. That's going to be a great sale.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's fun to see this because, as somebody like myself trying to upgrade equipment, what a better way to do it than to go to some place that has a nearly new used equipment. I mean, it's just awesome.
Yeah, there's a 5-bottom plow there, and we typically sell 5-bottom plows for scrap iron anymore.
Yeah.
But this thing looks like it's brand new. I mean, there's a 5-bottom plow. It still has all the paint on all the bottoms. So
yeah, all the roll boards. Yeah,
gonna be a neat sale.
What else you got coming around the corner?
Well, the equipment auction's lined up here. Obviously, we're going to start off next week in Hague, North Dakota for the Meyer sale, and that's going to be a really, really nice auction. You can check out all of the inventory online. We're going to go into Beach Galva area on November 7th. That's going to be a really nice retirement auction there. We've got a John Deere 4940, a couple of versatile 4-wheel drives, a really nice John Deere air seeder, lots of trucks, trailers, augers, grain handling equipment, and I believe there's 8 Amber Waves grain bins there. Most of them have air. Really, really nice setup there, and that's going to be in Galva on November 7th, right along the Highway 16, just 2 miles north of Galva, North Dakota. November 14th, we are actually going to go up to the Devil's Lake country up in the Churches Ferry. Really nice auction sale up there. We've got a John Deere 9870 and a John Deere S680 combine, a couple of really nice 4-wheel drive tractors. This is a rather sizable operation that is going into a full retirement here, and it's a really, really nice lineup of equipment, pretty well taken care of, and actually most of it's very modern. The entire lineup is virtually all John Deere, and just going to be a really good sale. And that again is November 14th in Churches Ferry, North Dakota, up by Devil's Lake. So if you have anybody that wants to go do some snow removal up in that area, we sure be appreciative.
They got hammered up there, and they're still getting it today. Unbelievable.
That's right.
Yeah.
November 18th will be that Gress auction that we just talked about in the Fairfield, North Dakota area here on the western side of the state. And then we're going to go to Steele, North Dakota for our annual sale there. And I tell you what, we've already got a lineup in Steele that is to die for. It's going to be an absolutely epic sale there on November 21st, and that's right there at our auction center of North America in Steele, North Dakota. And lots of good farm equipment, lots of good ag equipment. We do have a commercial applicators company that's selling down all their commercial application equipment. So we've got some sprayers, we've got some floaters, we've got some tender trucks, lots of good equipment coming out of that Wishick area. And really going to be a nice sale there on November 21st. Probably take a break over the Thanksgiving holiday, and then we'll be back on December 12th for all of the for a sale that we had ended up postponing up in Williston from October 1st to December 12th due to the lot being so doggone soft and wet up there, and I think we had 12 or 13 inches of rain on that lot, and we couldn't even get any equipment in or out of there. So we postponed that to wait for the ground to harden up there on December 12th. That's going to be a good sale. Lots of good land auctions in between now and the Christmas as well. I think we've got about 50 some left, and you can check everything out at pifers.com.
I tell you what, and one of the nicest things that people still say is you can go on the Pifers app and get a login there, and you can be sitting there. Yeah, I can be freeze branding heifers and still be bidding on things. That's a nice thing about it.
Yep, that's right. I think you can go to your app store and download it. It's just a Pifers Live app. The biggest question we get on it is why can't I see it on a normal day? or on any given day and go through the equipment. That app is strictly a bidding app.
Right.
And so when we launch that sale on sale day, you have the ability to pick that up on your phone and you can watch it live.
Yeah.
At least from the time we start the broadcast to the time we cancel it. So that's what that bidding app is. It's a very convenient. We get a lot of great compliments on that app. So
yeah, it's just simple. It's easy to use. And if you have any questions, Allie's always there to answer those questions nice and quick.
Yep,
so,
absolutely.
So the big question is, did you get your antelope yet?
I did.
You did?
Mine.
Oh,
you betcha. We got kind of went on we put on, I'm not sure how many miles for 2 antelope. We walked. We did a stock and spot on off of a hay field, and we were bouncing from bale to bale, and obviously they were feeling some pressure, so they were moving. This is right away on opening day, so at about a 2-hour, 2.5 mile hunt.
Mm-hmm.
And we started at 1,380 yards from them and ranged them in at 180 before we got the first one. That was John Bros' successful shot there.
Nice.
And then I was actually putting another spot and stock on a herd where I knew where they were at, and I had a gratis tag, so I was limited to a few sections of our own land. And we popped over a hill, and I spotted another hunter going after my antelope
on your land.
Yes, but in this particular section, it wasn't posted. So we sat on top of the hill,
okay.
And I said, well, we're not going to ruin his hunt. So we just sat there and watched him, and hopefully he was just going to sneak on him. Then we would just go down there and see how good he was, because obviously this antelope looked pretty nice from the binoculars.
Yeah.
And we heard three pokes at him, and he was gone. So that specific hunter missed him. And then I come back the next morning and did kind of the same stock I was putting on him the first time. That antelope, they're kind of gregarious. They came back to the same spot, and I ended up dropping him. And the gentleman who missed him was coming down the road or coming down the section line when I was loading him up. So we brought him over, and then we showed him where to go for another one, because we had some. We had about 4 of them spotted. So it was a good day and a half. I was glad we had a chance to go out. We had 2 antelope to get, and we got one on opening day and one the next morning. By noon we had them all vacuum sealed and then in the freezer. So we're in pretty good shape.
And I'm gonna wait till the last day. I bet. I went yesterday and I didn't see a thing. That wind kept everything huddled down something fierce. I didn't see nothing moving, not even a coyote, man. So it was just the way it is. But anyway, we have about 40 seconds here. People have questions, comments, concerns, auctions, land. Maybe they just want to talk to you about, they're thinking about selling, but they just don't know the steps to go through. I mean, free consultation. I'm sure that you'll be able to talk with them.
Yep, absolutely. You can contact us anytime regarding your land or machinery needs, whether you want to buy or sell. We can find it or find a way to market it to you. The other option there, we do have land management. That's obviously a really large portion of our company as well. We got lots of great land and equipment sales coming up. You can contact any one of the experts in the Bowman office, 701-523-7366, and you can ask for John Soriety, Jim Savvy, Andy Mrnak, or Allie Paulson.
Okay.
And check us out at any one of these upcoming sales. If you've, we always like meeting new people too. So if you come to one of these auction sales and you see us walking around, grab us, let us know who you are, and if there's anything we can do for you, or if you can do something for us, it'd be great.
Appreciate it. Andy, thanks for your time today. Have yourself a good one. We'll catch you here shortly, okay? And thanks for tuning in to Dakota Prairie Outdoors again on another Saturday and on YouTube. Have yourself a great weekend. All righty. Thank you, stations. Everybody on YouTube, I appreciate it too. Have yourself a good day. Stay warm and be careful shoveling.